I was looking at this outrage about Clarence Thomas because I think it's just honestly, it's all related to this Judge Brown and the determination whether or not she's going to go on the Supreme Court. I mean, it's really, let's be real. That's what this all is. And the argument about whether or not Clarence Thomas should recuse himself and all of this, I thought that, and I was thinking this, and Josh Hawley ended up saying it. But to go further, where did this whole thing come from the left? That Ginny Thomas, Clarence Thomas's wife, she's allowed to have other opinions. She's allowed to have opinions. She's allowed to have free speech. And the way that the left talks about it, they talk about it like they expect Clarence Thomas to mind her. Have you noticed this? They expect him to, put her in place, mind her. I mean, it's just weird, the attitude that they have. I really liked Jonathan Turley's take on this whole Clarence Thomas thing, because the left and the squad, which same thing, they have really been hammering Thomas and saying that they don't think that recusal's enough. Like, some have even called for him to be impeached. And Turley was looking at this, and I was talking to a couple of, I had emails out to a couple of attorney friends of mine, because I'm like that. I think the recusal stuff sounds kind of, it sounds like weak sauce, and it is. They're trying to say that Ginny Thomas had communications with White House staff before the riot, and as a result, Clarence Thomas should be impeached, and Ilhan Omar, the woman who married her brother and ended up violating campaign money law, is the one who's calling for this. And so they had these emails and texts and all this stuff, and apparently Ginny Thomas was texting Mark Meadows, and the messages, and I think this was her message to Meadows, her text to Meadows said, quote, "Sounds like Sidney," which was Trump's attorney before he fired her, Sidney Powell, "and her team are getting inundated with evidence of fraud. Make a plan, save us from the left taking America down," end quote. And Democrats who were running this committee for this, they leaked all of this stuff on purpose because they wanted this to come out in the court of public opinion. There was never anything there. People always talk like this privately. Everybody, I mean, I can't even believe this has got to be explained. Democrats do particularly. We remember the FBI text, right? That the Democrats didn't want to care about, remember? Who was it? The Peter Strzok and Lisa Page text, when they were like, take out Trump, and Democrats were saying, you're reading too much into that. But this is, So Ginny Thomas has always said that they keep their professional lives separate, and they do. I know Ginny Thomas. I've never met Justice Thomas, but I know Ginny Thomas, and they do. She wanted to have legal action to deal with voter fraud. And there were people on the right who agreed and disagreed with her. Turley was one of those who didn't. I mean, even Turley and McCarthy disagreed on certain aspects of this. I mean, that's just what it is. But you can be civil in doing so. Democrats, they themselves, and Turley notes this, have also challenged election results. They've also opposed certifications of presidential elections in Congress. Do you remember this? Because they absolutely have done that. This goes back to 2005, when Democrats were objecting to the counting of Ohio's electoral votes. They wanted to delay the official certification of the 2004 presidential election results. Is this also an insurrection? Asking for many, many friends. And Democrats were calling Trump, including Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they were saying that Trump was an illegitimate president. They didn't riot. I mean, well, they did. They did riot, actually. They rioted on election night 2016, and they've rioted, prior to that. Ginny Thomas has never rioted. And so Thomas said that she attended the rally at the Ellipse and left early, and she never went to the Capitol. And remember, everyone is saying that anybody basically who was out in the street at all whatsoever on the January 6th, that apparently they are absolutely, that all of these people, they are guilty of rioting, I guess. I mean, isn't that kind of what it is? Like they're all guilty. They were all at a riot. Doesn't matter if you even lived in D.C. Doesn't matter if you were even there. You were there.